Northbound in a narco tank with a Gatling gun.
Man, we got 7 here already? Oh, boy. Oh, we can get this rocking around at the troll watches here. Come on, trolls! Get the watches here.
This is Gavin Newsom. And this is Charlie Kirk.
For House Republican leadership say this short-term spending bill was closely coordinated with the White House, and they hope that support from the president will help keep Republicans united. House Speaker Mike Johnson can only afford to lose 1 or 2 GOP votes on any given day if no Democrats support the measure. Several Democrats say Republicans are handing Congress's power of the purse to the president and Elon Musk by turning their backs on full-year funding bills. But time is running out for a resolution with a partial government shutdown set to happen March 14th.
Could happen. I mean, the Democrats want that. They want to destroy the country. So I can't tell you, but it could happen. It shouldn't have happened, and it probably won't. I think the CR is going to get passed. We'll see, but it could happen. We never know.
Johnson is teeing up a vote for the funding bill this week, likely tomorrow. Also happening tomorrow, U.S. and Ukrainian officials are holding talks in Saudi Arabia to try and reach a ceasefire in Ukraine. White House envoy Steve Witkoff, National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are expected to attend. This comes after that spat between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office about 2 weeks ago. This time, a senior State Department official says they believe Ukraine is serious about reaching a deal.
Let's see what happens with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. I think you're going to have eventually, and maybe not in the distant future, you're going to have some pretty good results coming out of Saudi Arabia this week.
And so another big topic, tariffs. Stocks slid last week over fears over a potential trade war, but the president says tariffs will ultimately bring more business back to the United States.
I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country. It's going to make our country rich again. We have many companies, as you know, auto companies, they're opening up plants now. We've had 4 or 5 announced already, but many more are coming. And we're basically going to take back the money, a lot of the money that we've given away over many decades. We've lost our jobs, we've lost our factories.
Today, the president is meeting with top tech CEOs from companies facing tariff-related pressure. The CEO of IBM is expected to be there. The heads of Intel, Qualcomm, and HP are also set to attend, reportedly. They're rethinking their strategies as the administration implemented a 20% tariff on China.
Just like center to right center? Yeah. Yep.
What do you see there, right?
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
Oh, that's good. I needed that this morning. It is a gloomy, rainy morning here in Tampa. We're used to bright, sunshiny weather. It is mucky outside, and the meme gunpowder in the morning, getting us going in this glorious new week in the golden era. Today is Monday, March 10th, 2025. F-16s, which is what that meme's based on. I love the integration, the inception of the meme, right? So you build in the J.D. Vance meme into the meme, and then it's buried deep in the meme. It's like meme inception. Boom, 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 boom. So good. Ladies and gentlemen, J.D. Vance sharing his own memes. We'll cover that today in the program. The J.D. Vance meme going thermonuclear viral. We're going to talk about exactly why this is so important, but also important, new assassination attempts on Donald Trump. There's a dude killed at the White House with a gun. You didn't hear anything about it because they try and bury this story. And now we have F-16s that are shooting flares over Mar-a-Lago because planes keep buzzing. Mar-a-Lago, also new information about a drone that's been following Donald Trump around mysteriously. How many assassination attempts were there, really? We're going to cover it all on today's show. Speaking of getting rid of something, Black Lives Matter Plaza, poof, gone in Washington, D.C. We'll be live there today with an on-the-ground reporter. You can see the total and complete deconstruction of the BLM Plaza in Washington. Thank God. We're going to explain exactly why this is so important from a national moral fabric standpoint. We are a nation that has a people, not a specific race, not a specific clan. We are all created equal. Ladies and gentlemen, the tables are being righted right now. It's very important. Also, we are going to cover the genius move to turn the CBP One app, a special app that allowed criminal aliens to flood our country, into a self-deportation app. So very smart. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Cuts both ways, ladies and gentlemen. Sharp knives, both blades, quick, and the tip of the spear is sharp. Today, we have Scott Perry, representative, joining the program. Nick Sotor and Ezra Levant to talk about the new Canadian elections, replacing technocratic World Economic Forum goon Justin Trudeau with another technocratic World Economic Forum goon in Canada. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, lots of news. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Listen up, everybody. This is critical. I may not get to every single market prediction. There's a lot going on right now. If you've invested in crypto, don't do it. Don't look. All right. And everything else. Okay. And like, all I'm saying is I like being right on this program. We like being professionally right on this program. We've been professionally right with Advantage Gold. Advantage Gold has been the supplier for my physical precious metals, and precious metals is skyrocketing right now. Talked about it for years, but ladies and gentlemen, this is an important moment. Record high gold prices, $3,000 per ounce, highest it's ever been. Central banks worldwide are increasing their gold reserves because there's just instability, as President Trump says, and the Treasury Secretary says. We're going to have to exorcise the demons out of the economy. The economy's fake. It's been fake. Joe Biden lied on all of his numbers. Anyway, more important than ever to invest in something of physical value that has always withheld its value. Advantage Gold has an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, and they truly know how to deliver. They've assisted thousands of Americans. If you're interested, text Benny to 85545 right now. They'll send you a free gold investment guide. Text Benny to 85545 for $1,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Text Benny to 85545. Data message rates apply. Performance may vary. Always consult your financial and tax professionals, okay? All right. I just want to show you something that I find particularly fun from this weekend. Bernie Sanders is doing a bunch of goofball rallies all across the country, getting a bunch of libs together to go and do whatever hedonistic, cultish, worship, pagan festivals. I don't even know what the hell's going on here. I just know that somebody's very upset that they're stopping the fentanyl coming across the border. Anyway, everybody watched this video, and they're like, oh, wow, look at this funny guy dancing in a rainbow unitard. And that's right. This guy definitely is dancing like a tard. But I would argue that there are lots of tards in this video, because if you would pause ever so kindly, Klein, doesn't really matter where you pause, what you'll notice is that there are hundreds of people in the background wearing masks in the year 2025. They're all wearing masks. This is in Wisconsin. Trump won Wisconsin. This is like indicative of who we're fighting. And I want to always be uplifting on this program. I always want to try and build up, right? And give you sort of the ability to, again, understand that we are winning and we have won. There's a spiritual battle. These people are scared, feckless, timid sheep that have had their brains broken. Everybody pays attention to the, guy dancing in the unitard, but I would argue that the most damning video from this entire event has been this, ladies and gentlemen. The hundreds of people still wearing masks. They're all wearing masks. They're all like scared of each other. It's not American. It's a collapsing political identity. And we're going to talk about exactly what's happening with this collapsed political identity, because BLM Plaza is being scraped from the earth right now in Washington, D.C. Currently happening. But before we get there, I want to just touch on something that we sort of started our show with last week. Friday. Last show of the week, last week, we talked about Trump assassination attempts. And how freaking scary it is right now with these with the myriad of threats that President Trump is facing. And I just wanted to kind of like buckle in to the fact that they continue to not actually protect Donald Trump. Now today, Sean Curran is being sworn in as Secret Service Director. Today. Good. But just yesterday, F-16s had to intercept 2 different aircraft that invaded Mar-a-Lago, shooting flares at them. They had to shoot these planes down, technically. Crazy stuff. And then a guy was shot at the White House with a gun. Let's just cover it. U.S. Air Force F-16s forced down 2 aircraft that invaded Mar-a-Lago airspace. Air Force F-16 fighters scrambled Sunday to intercept aircraft that entered the airspace over President Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Say, have you ever been on a plane like... Okay, so I got a buddy who's an amateur pilot. And he has this little plane, and it's got this dashboard. And sometimes we fly around. Dude's super cool. And he's getting his license, and you can see there's a military base right here in Tampa. It's a big, giant, red X over something called MacDill Military Base. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you've been stationed there. I'm not sure. There's a ton of veterans in the audience, military members. Love you. Chat. Hearts out to the military members. You fly over, and there's this massive red X that says, if you fly here, you're going to get shot down. So I've seen it inside the cockpit. We take off from Tampa. I've seen it inside the cockpit. There's military bases all over Tampa. And so, like, if you're flying over that X, you're doing something on purpose. you're flying over that X, you're doing something on purpose. Now, why do I know that that X exists over Mar-a-Lago? Because we had dinners at Mar-a-Lago over the last couple months. We flew there, and I saw it, okay? So I have personally seen from a cockpit how you look down at Mar-a-Lago, and there's this massive red X that says, do not fly over this. So somebody's doing this on purpose. Someone's doing this on purpose. And we don't like the predictive programming here. Remember, Iran released a video that said that they were going to assassinate Trump from the bushes while he played golf. And then some dude with associations to Iran and Ukraine, who's recruiting ISIS terrorists from Iran, Afghanistan, throughout the Mideast to go fight in Ukraine, and Ryan Ralph, we have updates on him and his trial here in just a second. But then that dude goes ahead and hides in the bushes, try and kill Trump. Then he offers a $150,000 bounty to go to kill Trump. How's he have that money? Where'd he get the gun? Dude is on the FBI's list for do not authorize this man to buy a gun. You ever bought a gun? My gun store owner knows me. The guy I purchase guns from. What's up, Benny? What's going on? Every single time I buy a gun, and I know you do too, I have to sit there and wait for my FBI background check. Every single time. Sit there, enter my information, sit. Gotta wait for it to come back. Sometimes it takes a long time. I bought a suppressor recently. That took 6 months. FBI would go through all this big background check, right? The point is that where the hell did Ryan Ralph get his gun? Who bought him the gun? The guy's impoverished. Who paid for all of his trips to Ukraine? Not only is it expensive to Ukraine, you can't even go to Ukraine. Try booking a ticket to Ukraine. You can't. What the hell is going on here? It's very mysterious. It's very strange. We know nothing about it. I'm pissed off about it. Because I want to know more. I want to understand why. Anyway, why are all of these planes buzzing Mar-a-Lago? You ever been to Mar-a-Lago? Can I get that funny photo of ALX with his socks? The ALX tube sock photo. It's famous. And I look for any opportunity to pop it up. Executive producer ALX wore tube socks to Mar-a-Lago and was at dinner with Trump for like 8 hours. The point is that like they have very tight security there. We know the security there at Mar-a-Lago. Trump's outside all the time at Mar-a-Lago. All the time. He's giving a speech. He's talking. He's on the grounds. He's constantly outside at Mar-a-Lago. He's inside, like, and it's not a huge property. It's not particularly big. It's not a massive, sprawling estate. Like, if somebody were to, God forbid, fly a plane into it, you'd have a really high probability of doing horrible damage. Let's just leave it at that. I only bring this all up to say this is really scary that twice in one day, seems like they're testing for something. Twice in one day, they have to like go and intercept with military jets shooting They shoot at plane. They shot at a plane. They shot at planes that were buzzing Mar-a-Lago. Okay? It's crazy. There we go. This is ALX at Mar-a-Lago with the president. I mean, if God forbid a plane buzzed Mar-a-Lago, at least ALX is dressed to go sprint away from it, to run. At least he's dressed to like actually like hit the road. Okay, he's ready. He's ready. He's out of there. Okay. A civilian aircraft flew over a no-fly zone. Sorry, ALX. I only bring it up to say we know this property. We've been there a million times. We know Mar-a-Lago. Bunch of times. This is insane. I flew over it. I just flew over it. And I saw it myself. You're not allowed to do this. So it's bad news, man. Civilian aircraft flew in a no-fly zone over the property at 1:15 p.m. Sunday. Fighter jets fired flares to warn the pilots to move out of the area. The military said the aircraft was then escorted out of the area. A photo of the F-16 that was escorting it. Look at that. Jeez. It's part of a raft of private aircraft ignoring the no-fly zone on the southern White House. The president spent his weekend. Since January 20th, 2025, presidential inauguration, NORAD has responded to 20 planes that have flown over Mar-a-Lago while Trump was in residence. Jeez. All right. Well, I mean, okay. Just keep the man safe, damn it. Swear in Sean Curran. We like Sean Curran. He's the dude who was standing there at Butler, the guy with sunglasses. He's famous, right? He's hugged the little 13-year-old boy with terminal brain cancer. Sean Curran is somebody who Donald Trump trusts with his life. Here you can see in the famous photo, of course, Sean Curran there with his sunglasses on. And he's been Donald Trump's Secret Service agent. Right there. Well done. Well done, Clyde. He's been Donald Trump's chief Secret Service agent, the head of his detail, for a decade. On and off, right? And so this guy knows Donald Trump, cares about Donald Trump a lot. Trump trusts him with his life. And this man would give his life for Donald Trump. He was right there as the bullets were flying in Butler. The guy, we did a whole episode on like what we don't know about Butler on Friday. I encourage you to go check it out. So many unanswered questions. Why did they cremate the body? I want to see the body of the shooter. It's cremated, it's gone. I want to see the evidence on the roof. We brainwashed it off. Why'd you do that? It's an active crime scene. We just wanted to get rid of all the evidence. Wait, sources and methods. Can't ask us a question with the FBI. Freaking now leaks coming out that the guy was like not acting alone. That he was acting with somebody. He was part of a network to try and kill Trump. Who's running that network? Was it Patriot Front? Okay, all right. Jeez, man. Don't like this. Dude went up to the White House, armed and ready for confrontation. Secret Service killed him. Jeez.
I couldn't believe it. A retired veteran showed me this little device that gives his family all the water they need during a big emergency. It just sits on a shelf in his pantry.
Dude went up to the White House, armed and ready for confrontation. Secret Service killed him. Jeez. This also happened this weekend. Look at all this happening. It's crazy. Secret Service shoots man in overnight armed confrontation near White House. The shooting took place as police was notified about a suicidal man in the area. There's crazy people all over the place, right? But geez. Secret Service shot a man during an armed confrontation at the White House. The incident unfolded just after midnight in a block west of the White House near the Eisenhower Executive Office Building. That's where we just were for Cash's swearing in. Alex and I were both there. Cash got sworn in. It was really fun. But geez, it was right outside of that. Police identified the suspect as 27-year-old Andrew Dawson from Indiana. Agents said that he was armed with a firearm and a knife. He confronted agents, was acting violently. Indiana police had notified D.C. authorities that Dawson was driving to Washington, D.C. He might have been suicidal. He wanted to commit suicide by cop. Members of the Secret Service encountered the man parked at a car. Again, just freaking crazy. Scary because, there's all these dudes. The entire White House grounds is just teeming with members of the administration. We were there for just one day, and we ran into RFK, Brooke Rollins, Tulsi Gabbard, obviously Cash, but inside of Cash's confirmation was Jim Jordan and Ted Cruz. It was nuts. All these people were so these guys are standing outside with firearms, man. It's nuts. It's crazy. Say your prayers, dude. I'm mean that. We believe in God.
We all need to.
We just say, our prayers for the security of this nation. So yeah, we have some crazy new news on Ryan Routh, who was apparently in court. He ran the Fight for Ukraine website. We didn't get a chance to really cover this all on Friday because we spent too much time at Butler. But geez, man, Routh was in court this past Friday. Didn't hear much news out of that. ALX, did we get any new information from Ryan Routh and his court date? We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to continue to ask the question, what did Ukraine know and when did they know it? Ryan Routh constantly traveling to Ukraine, constantly in touch with Ukraine, going to the front lines, fighting with Ukraine, recruiting for their military, traveling there. Here's his website. Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Yeah. Freaking creepy. Okay, so speaking of like security at the White House, Alex, you got that video of Rand Paul? I actually watched an assault at the White House. I watched something happen to a senator. I was physically there. I watched something happen to a senator right in front of my very eyes. It was the date that Donald Trump gave his acceptance speech for the RNC convention in the year 2020. Donald Trump did this from the White House, right? It was like during the height of COVID hysteria. So the DNC convention was totally digital, right? It was like a total clown show. The RNC convention also didn't have like a big, massive convention. And so Trump had done his speech at the White House. And I'm sitting there and we're listening to Trump's speech. Really nice, pretty, nice aesthetic. I leave and there were BLM protesters outside of the White House. And these people, I watched them physically nearly kill Rand Paul. Here's Rand Paul and his beautiful wife, Kelly Paul is her name. And here they are walking through the protests, and these BLM mongoloids, goblins, had to be physically held back. This is worse than anything that happened to any elected official on January 6th. This one clip is worse than anything that happened to any member of our Congress on January 6th. Look at this. There's the senator. You can see the senator, like, getting, like, the police getting physically attacked, the senator getting physically accosted. Look at these guys. Animals. Rand Paul was hit. You see these people throwing things at him. They're throwing batteries at him. His wife was bludgeoned. Somewhere in that melee is me. Not gonna try and pick me out. I was sitting there in shock. I walked out with Rand Paul. Just left at the same time. And we left this mob. It was just a mob. All right. Anyway, these people were in Black Lives Matter Plaza. BLM Plaza is an affront to our nation because this nation is not a nation that sits there and carves up people based on orientation, skin color, melanin that you have from 1,000 years ago based on where your ancestors come from, were in basis of the equator, like where they lived. Like, it is utterly antithetical to the country to paint like our skin color matters more on the avenue leading up to the White House. Like, how the hell did these people ever get away with this? But it was like it was a moment of terrorism. They were terrorizing senators in the street. Yep. It seemed like culturally we were on our back heel. And in Washington, D.C., they were able to weaponize a moment, which this is all it was about, was weaponizing a moment where they were able to psyop the nation into believing that George Floyd, who died of fentanyl overdose, check the autopsy report. I know that you hate it when they say that. But you're like, okay, argue the facts. Who died of fentanyl overdose, according to his autopsy report, and 4 or 5 other opioids, other pills that he was on. It's a matter of fact. They were able to weaponize that into a political movement. And in order to foist the power of that political movement onto those in Washington, D.C., they terrorized and burnt and assassinated, killed with impunity, attacked the White House with the purpose of killing the president in actual insurrection. This is by definition an actual armed insurrection. They used Black Lives Matter Plaza as effectively a cultish gathering point in order to perform all of this terrorism against our nation. And thankfully, thank God, this scar on the face of our nation's capital is being removed today. D.C. is a total vassal state. It's not a state, but it's a total vassal organ of our federal government. It cannot exist or survive without the federal government. The entire city of D.C. is a massive sewer, swampy.
I can't wait.
I want to tell you a story.
God.
I used to believe that Jesus was a Catholic God, God of the Gentiles.
I imagined that Jesus was a
government welfare state. And Republicans in Congress, and there used to be no mayor in D.C., it used to be just the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House of Representatives ran Washington, D.C. They said, we're not going to do this anymore, right? Like, you know, if the people who are upset about this, can somebody please argue with me if I wanted to paint White Lives Matter? Somebody argue with me, like take the argument. So if you're upset about them removing Black Lives Matter Plaza today, then make the logical argument. If somebody wanted to do that, if Trump wanted to replace it with White Lives Matter, would you be in favor of this? Or would you say, wait a second, like being an American is actually not, being an American shouldn't be defined by your skin color, but an adherence to values, an adherence to the superiority of our values and our culture. What was set forth in the founding of this nation. Like I can make a logical argument. I can make a very rational argument in that direction. But the argument like atomizes if you try and go both ways. And the more that you investigate this movement, the more you realize how utterly fraudulent and what a terroristic movement it actually was. It's like prima facie a terrorist organization. A fraudulent terrorist organization is what BLM was. And so no, it shouldn't be canonized in our nation's capital. We have the proof, ladies and gentlemen, to prove all of that. And we'll be live from BLM Plaza soon with Nick Sotor, who will be there to document for us the erasing of this scar on the face of DC, BLM Plaza. Here's what's happening right now at BLM Plaza. There are construction crews outside that are ready to remove this, and you could also like rising actually above, like even the lightning rod that is race in America. Is it appropriate? Would it be appropriate to name it MAGA Plaza? Because let's take race completely out of it. Let's just say political ideology, flavor of the moment. Okay? So BLM definitely had its moment. We're going to review exactly what they did to our nation. BLM had its moment, had its time in the sun. What did BLM accomplish? We let them run our country. We're going to go through what happened when you let these people run your country. But right now, just again, let's do the logical fallacies here. MAGA is the predominant, without question, most powerful political force in the country. Would you be in favor of us renaming this through force and terrorism MAGA Plaza? The street in Washington, D.C.? Because that's all this was. It was a passing political fad that got a couple of key people obscenely rich, then left many people dead. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's being ripped up right now, and we're gonna again be live from BLM Plaza later in the show. We'll show you that. But every American should celebrate this. It's a particularly bitter point for me because of these protests. I had to flee from Washington, D.C. I was personally affected by this. These people set my house on fire. We lived in a row house because they defunded the police, which was part of all this insanity. They made our neighborhood, which was like, you know, very much a rougher neighborhood, okay, with some open air drug dealing, various gangland activities, but it was under control. You know, it's like you're poor in DC. You know, this is where you're gonna live, right? My wife and I made a happy home there, dude. When they defunded the police, things got so bad so quickly. Our house got lit on fire with my infant baby inside, my firstborn daughter. It was one of the worst days, without question, the worst day of my life. Coming home to that. Freaking cops and firefighters had to break down the doors and stuff. We had to flee. House was into our home, into my baby's crib. So yeah, I'm personally very angry about this movement. I'm bitter about it. I'm upset. And my house wasn't the only thing that was set on fire. Just a reminder that the mostly peaceful protesters here with BLM set a church on fire. So this is St. John's Episcopal Church is the church that's closest to the White House. Famous. Abraham Lincoln prayed there. Pretty much every president's gone to church there. It's where President Trump went and attended a service right before the inauguration. They lit the thing on fire. They were trying to burn it down. This is arguably the most historic church in the entire country, the most historic Christian church in the country, and they set it on fire. Just a little reminder for you. Here we go.
My whole career, I was pretty much bald, so people just got to know me as being a bald guy. I did wonder what it would be like if I could have hair.
When you have different camera.
It on fire! Just a little reminder for you. Here we go.
House where it started, he said, peacefully earlier today. What you're looking at live now there within view of the White House is a totally different story tonight as the looming 11 p.m. curfew is coming. Kevin, let's check in and see what your take is on whether that's actually going to happen tonight.
Well, you're unfortunately, Shannon, seeing a terrible scene. Fires burning here along H Street. We do smell. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We're getting tear gassed. And unfortunately, I can add just a moment ago, it does appear that St. John's Church is on fire. The parish office, we went downstairs and it is on fire. I'm going to walk this way. And this is awful. We saw graffiti. Once the door was broken, we saw something similar happen earlier. And as you can see, there's definitely a fire here. This is the parish office. Here, come on back. Come on back. Come on back up. That's good. So they're trying to clear the area, Shannon, with the pepper spray and with the tear gas to try to clear people.
Anything we can do to get it out?
No, I don't know that there's anything we can do to put that out. I didn't see an extinguisher. We're back out here on H Street. Eyes are burning a bit, as you can imagine, as they're trying to disperse the crowd, hopefully to get fire personnel over here to try to put out some of these fires, Shannon. It's a sad scene. This is a beautiful church, historic, as you know. We're only in the parish office, but St. John's Church is a landmark in many ways, so it's very difficult to see this building go up in flames. So hopefully they can get here and put out the fire. That's what we see right now. Shannon, back to you.
Yeah. And Kevin, so people know that isn't.
I mean, it looks like Syria. It looks like a civil war. Those are the closest streets to our White House. And then they honored those people by naming the plaza after them? No, no. They burned down a church. You know, those churches are built in tinders, right? Is what built that church. The goal was to burn the closest Christian iconography to the White House that you would never be able to get back, of course, because they don't even do that style of architecture anymore. That was their target. Their target was St. John's Episcopal, right there across the street from the White House. So they continued, ladies and gentlemen. They fought up against the barricades, the White House again. This is what it looked like outside of the White House. These rioters had the sole intent. This is on White House grounds. This is in front of the White House. You never see this footage anymore. They never play you this footage. The stuff that happened on January 6th, of course, has been played so much that it's literally falling to pieces. It's like crumbling. It's been run through so many times that the footage itself is literally threadbare. But you never see this. You never see this one, that they lit buildings at the White House on fire. There's a utility shed at the White House that they set ablaze. So they lit the White House. Took 4 years to repair. Was set ablaze on the White House grounds. So they burned the White House. Here's CNN's coverage of these BLM protesters who were honored with their own memorial in D.C. in front of the White House, physically attacking the cops with the express chant that they're going to kill Trump. Again, this is the actual insurrection in this country. Here, this is by definition, this is an actual insurrection to change the government, to violently overtake the government, stage a coup, kill the rightful elected head of the government. This was your insurrection, totally buried. Here we go.
For police officers, I'm being told now by producers, we have Brian Todd back. He's on the phone. Brian, you're right in the middle of this crowd that we're watching right here. We're watching this crowd throw things at police officers, and there is a struggle for the barricades. What are you seeing?
Don, it's a very violent struggle for the barricade, and it's gone back and forth between both sides a couple of times. It seems like the protesters have gotten the upper hand a couple of times. They've been able to rip away parts of the barricade and kind of haul them away and just toss them. And then the police will go and bring another part of it and try to reinforce. And when they do that, the protesters confront them. They throw things at them, and the police try to hold their ground. It has been a very intense push and pull for, I'd say, at least an hour now.
You will die tomorrow, or maybe on another day. But one thing is certain, life is limited. Every moment that you wait.
It's been a very intense push and pull for, I'd say, at least an hour now.
So we gave BLM a massive microphone and said, okay, we're going to listen to you. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you're going to do. After every single tween, every single 17-year-old white girl posted a black square on her Instagram, we said, yeah, sure. Okay, we're listening. Stop and listen. Stop and listen. Okay, we'll listen. Here's what they had to tell us. We want to kill you. We want to burn your churches. We will take the worst criminal elements on earth. Remember, Kyle Rittenhouse fired into a crowd of BLM supporters in Wisconsin and hit like 3 pedophiles. We'll take some of the worst criminal elements on earth. We will loose them on your city to burn it to the ground. We'll set your own house on fire. Here's a photo of my house, literally ablaze. We'll set your home on fire. So this is the adjoining house. This is the drug home. This is the house that got firebombed. My house is right there next door. You can see the white brick. So this is our house in flames. My child's sitting there inside. The little white house. So there you go. Yeah, great. Great. We will mercilessly murder, kill, rampage, rape, destroy. We'll try and kill Trump. And then when you donate money to us, what will happen is we'll embezzle it. And even though we call ourselves trained Marxists, we will take as much of your dirty, filthy capitalist pig money and buy mansions with it. Inside the $6 million BLM mansion that was bought with donated funds. Would you look at this? Well. Wow, they are living large. Here, the BLM trap house. The sprawling $6 million mansion, bought by Black Lives Matter in Los Angeles, once hosted Humphrey Bogart and Marilyn Monroe. Comes complete with a soundstage, music studio, pool, 2-bedroom guest house, 7,000 square foot Studio City compound. Is very impressive and newly renovated. Would you look at this? Some of these photos are really great. I think BLM lives a lot better than you do. Now, wow, look at that backyard. Look at that pool. This is how the founders live, Patrice Kahlurs. And they apparently filmed, look at this content they're filming, Klein, down. Scroll down, please, one more. Yeah. Man, them sitting at a table with a charcuterie board and champagne. Oh my, the struggle is so real. Look at that. Oh wow. Such struggle for these trained Marxists. This is what they did. They professionally embezzled all of your money. Black Lives Matter executive accused of siphoning $10 million from donors. Patrice Kahlurs admits to using $6 million mansion for parties. So they took this moment where all of America was sitting and listening, and they said, F you, we hate you, we're going to steal all your money, and we're going to burn your house down. We're going to try and kill your president. That was the message from BLM. So good riddance. It's despicable that it ever came to this, that was ever painted on the ground in Washington, D.C. Candace Owens, if you want to dig a little bit deeper, did an unbelievable job at exposing BLM as the greatest fraud in history. We actually went to the premiere of this documentary, and it was just great. Here's a little snapshot of the trailer if you want to re-educate yourself as to the horrors that we just lived through, based on these people, and a insight into what they want to do to your country. Here you go.
Lives Matter released their 990 IRS filing. They collected $80 million. Where is that money?
It's all here. Everything looks worse than it was.
Yeah,
where have you seen that money impacted democracy?
Of all the donations.
So my producer just sent me a link. It is just shocking to me because of how much money was raised to think that where he lived, the bills weren't being covered. Super frustrating, but that's dead end. So, and here's where it gets really interesting. Ready for some BLM pride? Another $200K went to escorts, BDSM workers, strippers, peep show workers, phone sex operators, and webcam performers. And then at that moment, it became personal. And I thought, not only am I going to say the truth, I am going to scream the truth louder than you can scream the lies.
Yeah. Most people my age are slowing down, but I'm more active than ever. Hi, my name's Dr. Frank Schellenberger. I'm 77.
Truth louder than you can scream the lies.
Still holds up. And good riddance. You go to the premiere here. Always have the photos. Always have the photos handy. Very interesting. Here's ALX not wearing tube socks, or at least you couldn't tell. At the premiere, and we had a really fun time. We got is that Kobe Covington? All right,
they
Kobe
were
Covington
large.
And Kanye and Ray J and Candace. What a night! It's like crazy. There was a moment, by the way, where actual journalism was done here. Nonprofit donation fraud ever perpetrated. They raised hundreds of millions of dollars. Candace Owens, the only person with the temerity to actually go up and knock on the door of one of the mansions of the BLM founders, the Marxists. Remember, she said, we're trained Marxists. Let's go see how they live. Throwback. Go.
Remember the BLM movement, May of 2020, when every high school girl in America was absolutely required to put a black square on her Instagram page? Remember that? BLM, everyone's for BLM. Mitt Romney marched with BLM. What was that? Well, it was a scam. Actually, it turns out it was a scam. And it really hurt the country. Candace Owens has done an entire documentary on this. It's called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, George Floyd and the Rise of BLM. for the documentary showed up to the gated mansion in Laurel Canyon, Los Angeles, owned by BLM co-founder Patrisse Cullors. Cullors then posted a video on Instagram complaining about Candace Owens' reporting. Watch this.
So we are headed to Laurel Canyon. We've yet to see any black people in this neighborhood. So there's definitely somebody home. Hello. I was just looking to speak to whoever is at this property. Sir? Hello? I don't know if he's going to get someone. I see a very cute German Shepherd, it looks like.
This morning, I woke up to Candace Owens being outside of my house with a news crew.
We can't see how this purchase helped black lives anywhere in America. I can't even find a black life on the property. The dog's not even black, so there's that.
And so they're literally trying to destroy us. They're trying to destroy me. They're trying to destroy the movement. And I just need us to be stronger.
When you live in a multi-million-dollar home in Laurel Canyon, it can be hard. Candace Owens is the person who caused the suffering you just saw. She's the producer of the brand new documentary.
Again, I encourage you to check out Candace's work on this. I encourage you, go watch Greatest Lie Ever Sold, and you will see some remarkable insights. And I hope she does follow up on this, because it really begs the question: where'd the money go? You go check the 990s and the tax filings, you see that they just funneled it directly into her family members. Patrisse Cullors just used this as a slush fund. She gave $1 million to her brother-in-law, $1 million to her cousin, $1 million to her sister, $1 million to her auntie. It was just a massive grift. It was a massive slush fund. Fraudulently perpetrated on the American people, used in order to destabilize our nation, in order to rig the 2020 election, in order to steal what man intends for evil, God intends for good. Now BLM Plaza is being scraped, ladies and gentlemen, from the earth. And good riddance, actually. We shouldn't have monuments to terrorist groups and to fraudulent grifters who are trained Marxists in this country. So again, ladies and gentlemen, good riddance. Less BLM grift, more blackout coffee, ladies and gentlemen, keeps us going. While we prepare for the golden era, I was speaking with the owners of Blackout Coffee, and I was like, man, we're going to need a lot of that, because we are going to be rip-roaring in this golden era. And ladies and gentlemen, it does fill our cup. It is, I do have a shelf stocked at my house. Blackout Coffee powers us, powers our show, gives us the caffeine and energy, keeps going. Some people on the team use nicotine. Ladies and gentlemen, caffeine for me, straight into my veins. I drink my coffee black, ladies and gentlemen, and we love Blackout Coffee. Make sure that you drink Blackout. They support you, they support our warriors, they support our first responders, they support our First Amendment and Second Amendment. They have the values that you care about, with the grit and determination and refusal to back down that built this country. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. First order. Taste the coffee that doesn't just wake you up, it fires you up. That's blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Let's freaking go. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to rock on this special little issue, this special little topic that I wanted to that the CBP One app has been turned into a deportation app.
Yep. There you
Just
go,
so
Charles.
awesome. One last little bit of news here. So the app that was used in order to funnel and to deliver tens of thousands of criminal aliens, millions of criminal aliens into this country in the dark of night, has now was shut down and now has been totally reversed into a self-deportation app. Here's the news.
I'm shocked more people don't know about this forgotten Edison invention. It generates free, unlimited power straight from the ground beneath your feet. No wonder big energy kept this hidden for so long. Before you spend thousands on solar panels or other costly alternatives, you need to see this breakthrough. This off-grid energy source is the perfect way to power your home, especially in emergencies. If you're like me, you've probably noticed how energy bills just keep creeping up. It's frustrating. Those extra dollars slipping away when you'd rather use them for something that matters to you, like a quiet weekend with the family. Thomas Edison, the guy who lit up our homes, came up with this old idea. A simple way to ease that pressure on your wallet. It's not some big, complicated thing. It's just a practical
app. Here's the news.
This is pretty remarkable. The Trump administration has taken that controversial CBP-1 cell phone app for migrants that the Biden administration was using, and they've repurposed it into a self-deportation app that is officially launching today. And we're getting an exclusive first look at it. Take a look. The app is now called CBP Home. It allows illegal aliens in the U.S. to register to self-deport. They fill out biographical information, including their countries of citizenship, which country they plan to return to, their alien registration numbers, their contact information, and it allows them to upload photos of themselves to confirm their identity. All of it is then submitted to CBP, and they leave the country. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would an illegal immigrant want to self-deport? Well, DHS says if they leave now, they will have the opportunity to return to the U.S. legally in the future and chase the American dream. But if they don't leave, they will be found, arrested, detained, and deported with a permanent ban on entry into the United States. In a statement to Fox News, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said in part, quote, the Biden administration exploited the CBP-1 app to allow more than 1 million aliens to illegally enter the United States. With the launching of the CBP Home app, we are restoring integrity to our immigration system. If they don't self-deport, we will find them, deport them, and they will never return. The Biden administration's use of the CBP-1 app allowed more than 40,000 migrants to come into the U.S. at a port of entry every single month. That totaled nearly 1 million migrants by the end of his presidency. President Trump terminated that app immediately upon taking office, leading to scenes like this, showing migrants dismayed at the border on the day of his inauguration as they learned their CBP-1 appointments were canceled and were never coming back. And DHS tells me that any migrants who had that CBP-1 app on their phone will see it automatically update to this new self-deportation app starting today. And DHS can also use the data from the prior CBP-1 registrations to track migrants for removal. So in a nutshell, Dana, Trump just took Biden's program, which was bringing migrants in, and has now totally repurposed it to get them out.
So if you have the app on your phone, the government knows where you are. It's kind of genius, actually. It worked in reverse. Really is the F around us of times and the find outing us of times. And joining us to talk about all of this, the great congressman from the state of Pennsylvania, Congressman Scott Perry, joins us live now.
Sorry about that.
Congressman, welcome back to the program. So much to talk about today.
Yeah.
You are on foreign affairs, so this is a very fun foreign affair to talk about. So the CBP-1 app has now been turned into a deportation app. Great job.
Yeah.
Administration.
Great job. Mark this up in the category of I woke up today to yet one more great thing that I didn't have the day before because Donald Trump is the president. The CBP-1 app was the illegal entry of foreign nationals into our country, and the president has turned it into what is effectively their to the doorstep back to where they came from, and more so than that, with the moniker and the proviso that if you don't self-deport and we have to do it, you can never come back. And also let this also be known that government provided cell phone that your CBP-1 app is on. Yeah, we're using that to find you as well. So as long as you hang on to that and call some drug dealer in Mexico or some human trafficker that you're working with, we're going to use that to find you and deport you and probably go find them and arrest them.
Yeah, I mean, that does kind of cut both ways. So if you have that app on your phone, you clearly there's no other reason to download that app other than you probably came here illegally through that program. So there's a really great, you're walking around with a tracking device.
Yeah, that you are walking around with a tracking device. And look, as Americans, many of us who have been persecuted or prosecuted by the federal government, as true citizens born here and bona fide in the United States, we're frustrated that the federal government has turned its power, its awesome power on us. It's about time that the federal government is working for us and against people that came here illegally, under the provisions of coming illegally. They knew they were doing it. They knew they were breaking the law. But since they had the CPV-1 app, they somehow thought that they were justified because Joe Biden said it's okay to break the law as long as I say so. It's wonderful that we're taking this Americans first, America first approach to immigration.
So dovetailing into this and into then our next topic that I want to cover, which is BLM and BLM Plaza in Washington D.C. There was a agitator. There was a criminal protester that was at Columbia University. Apparently, he was here as a guest on a visa program. Now he's being deported. Right. It was one of the Hamas protesters. Your take on that?
Well, coming to this country to go to school or to visit is a privilege. It is not a right. We don't invite you to come and then protest against our country and disrupt things, create chaos, hold up traffic, make things unsafe. You're not invited to come here and do that. We have free speech in this country, but you are here as a favor. And so if you're going to do those kind of things, well, you can go back and stay in the country that probably you came from that already hates us. We don't have to invite you here to hate us. You can hate us from afar and not disrupt traffic and make things unsafe for us here.
I think Elon Musk said it best this weekend. You can hate us for free. Yeah, that's great. It's free to hate us. Have a great time.
Just do it from over there. Yeah, you don't have to do it on our streets.
Exactly right. Speaking of streets, BLM Plaza is being now deconstructed based on apparently orders or threats from the Republican majority in the House. We totally agree with this. You shouldn't have monuments to terrorist organizations or some of the largest political grifts, fraudulent organizations in the country's history. But this is something very personal to me, Congressman, because I watched Rand Paul get assaulted in this plaza, and then they honored the group. I watched these people burn the church down. Right. They set St. John's on fire. They tried to kill Trump. They set White House buildings on fire, and then they honored these people by naming the plaza after them. Yeah, what an affront!
It's the ultimate insult upon injury. And the legislation was written. It was sitting ready to be introduced. I would have been a co-sponsor of it. And thank goodness the mayor of D.C. and the leadership in D.C. saw the light before it happened and said, you know what, we're going to get ahead of this before you introduce the legislation and make us have to deal with it out in public and defend this lawlessness and this chaos. And like you said, one of the greatest political grifts in history, not to mention the danger that's associated with BLM. We're just going to take care of this ourselves, so there's nothing to see here. And look, indicator of what we can get done when we take a shot across the bow.
Yes, Congressman, can you explain maybe what did that legislation look like? What was going to happen?
My understanding is that they didn't take that off and rename that Liberty Plaza, they were going to lose funding. That's the key to everything, because everybody, especially D.C., lives on federal funding, right? And so they were going to lose a certain amount of funding if they didn't change it to Liberty Plaza. And I think that we would have had a good chance at seeing that bill pass very quickly. They didn't want to have the discussion. Understand, when a bill comes to the floor, there's going to be a debate.
All right, I'm going to go and use the bathroom.
This is Gavin Newsom.
So I will be back.
And this is Charlie.
Discussion. Understand, when a bill comes to the floor, there's going to be a debate. They were going to have to go out. The Democrats were going to have to go out and debate why that couldn't happen, why it had to remain Black Lives Matter Plaza, and why it's okay to assault United States senators, set things on fire, disrupt traffic. They were going to have to go out and defend that. They didn't want to do it. So they just said, look, we're going to take care of this ourselves.
Yeah, there were no charges. We played a clip. I'm sure you love Rand Paul. We love Rand Paul on the program. The guy's The guy's a wonderful member of Congress, and he and his wife are getting physically assaulted. They're chucking batteries at him.
Yeah.
They're hitting the police officers, and nothing happened to these people.
Yeah,
I was there. I don't know if you were there, Congressman. I was like standing. I was like right there, standing, filming. And I couldn't believe it. They let these people walk. And not only that, they honored them.
They honored them. Yeah, like I said, the ultimate insult upon injury. These people think that Washington, D.C. is their city. And while we appreciate that they live there, they can exercise their right to free speech and to protest their government. This is also America's capital. And Americans from around the country need to be able to come to their capital and feel safe and not have to worry that because they're not from the city and not on the right side of the city's political leaning, that they're going to be attacked and go home, in an ambulance instead of in an Uber. And I think that's the indication of what's occurring there.
So there's been a lot of critiques as to how BLM has spent the $100 million that was lavished upon them by Americans. There are a lot of rules as a nonprofit as to how you can and cannot spend money that you get tax-free as a donation. Right. Would you be in favor of an investigation into BLM?
Here's what I'm not in favor of. Why hasn't the investigation started 2 weeks ago, a month ago? Like, why aren't charges already forthcoming? Where are the indictments? Of course, this has been just wholesale theft. And not only do they not arrest the people on the streets that are throwing punches and batteries and assaulting people, they don't arrest the people they haven't arrested the people that orchestrated this whole wholesale theft and fraud on from the American people. There are a lot of fine, well-minded, high-minded charities out there that are trying to do the right thing, and this gives all of them a bad name, which is why there has to be accountability. There always has to be accountability so that people have trust in the system. But if you can get away with this, you can get away with
lining the pockets of your family members. If you go through, the 990s are public, so it was just family members directly connected to the founders. They got millions of dollars for security, having no backgrounds in security at all.
Right.
Mansions, purchases of multiple mansions in different states. I would love to see a full scale investigation. I mean, you run oversight. You're on oversight.
Right.
Would you push on oversight?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we'll do obviously we're working on different things with past administrations and the weaponization of government and all those kind of things. Yeah. We'll be able to refer charges. It'd be great if this came right from the DOJ because they don't have to wait on referred charges. They don't have to wait on the politics. They don't have to wait 5 minutes of time between a Republican and a Democrat asking questions. They can go right to the facts and look at, like you said, the documentation and how the money was spent. Is this fraud or is it not? We're bringing charges. Like, this could happen pretty quickly.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'd love to see. We'd love to see something happen to the people that lit a church on fire, right?
Yeah,
St. John's Church on fire, one of the most historic churches, arguably the most historic church in America, and wanted to burn it to the ground. So
yeah, they did want to burn it to the ground, and of course, the president was locked in a bunker in the basement of the Capitol of the White House, and but that had no overtones of an insurrection at all. Yeah. That's just unhappy people exercising their First Amendment right.
Yes, that's right. All right. So final question here, Congressman. Yeah. This big bill's coming up, the big, beautiful bill. There's been, Thomas Massie says he's not going to vote for it. There's been consternation on one side and the other. Is this thing going to pass? And, what's your take on it?
Well, look, I don't love CRs. This will be the second one I've ever voted for, but there's a different context is important. So I certainly don't love CRs when Democrats are in charge and when Biden's in the White House. And I don't love them much more when Republicans are in charge of the legislature, don't get their work done, and then there's a Democrat in charge. The context is important. Here we have the opportunity to freeze spending for 6 months while DOJ and while the Office of Management and Budget continues to make cuts to things that we don't need to be spending money on and that we can't afford. And what it does, we don't want to stop the momentum of DOJ. We don't want to stop the momentum of management and budget or this president.
Have you ever entered a site that looked real but wasn't? Here's how to avoid getting tricked. Scammers use AI to easily create fake websites that look exactly like the real deal. Your favorite stores, your bank, even your social media login pages could be fake. These sites are promoted everywhere. Google ads, social media ads. So I simply installed Guardio, and now if the site or link loads, it means the site or link is legit. If it detects the site or link is a scam, it'll block it the second I click it. It also alerts me when my private info has been leaked in real time, so I can very quickly take action, change my password, and do what needs to be done. Seriously, stay safe online. Click the link below and see how Guardio can protect you.
Of management and budget or this president, and we certainly don't want Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, wise here. And what they're demanding is that we stop Doge and that we rein in the president for their votes. That's what their votes would require. So it's going to take every single Republican. I'm on board of keeping the Doge going, keeping the Office of Management and Budget from writing and signing and paying out stupid contractual agreements from the Biden administration. I'm in favor of actually getting us to the reconciliation budget. This is just a blip on the radar screen to continue to fund government for the next 6 months while we get to the real work, which is the reconciliation.
Yes. Okay. I mean, listen, I've heard both sides of the argument. Yeah. You don't want to throw sand into the gears of an administration that is moving at lightning speed right now.
That's right.
One final real quick question about Director Borders Czar Tom Homan saying he has run out of funding for deportations. Is that going to be part of this bill?
That is not, as far as I know, part of the CR. Something could end up there. Now, they can reprogram a little bit of money. This is why it's important to get to this big, beautiful bill. I was for the two-bill approach because we funded in the two-bill approach Thomas Homan and the Borders Czar getting that work done. But that's not going to happen. We need, apparently that's not going to happen. So we need to get to the one big, beautiful bill very quickly. And we have a hurdle in front of us right now, which is this March funding deadline. So let's get past that so we can get the Homan the money he needs so he can continue the president's mission of cleaning up our country from all these people that came here illegally, many using the CBP-1 app. So, we've got to get to that, and we've got to get to it quickly. We can't wait until midsummer or something like that. We need to be looking at that one bill as soon as the 14th is beyond us and get to passing that next.
Rings like a bell, ladies and gentlemen. You'll rarely hear a member of Congress that can actually go out and speak like this. You must follow the great Scott Perry. Follow him here on X. He's got 140,000 subs. Extra power, extra gunpowder. Get in there and follow the great congressman. And Scott, thank you so much for being on the program. As always.
Well, it's awesome to be with you. Thank you. God bless you and your audience for being in the fight, being informed, and getting after saving our republic.
My man. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, who's up against a very hard out, is Ezra Levant from our great brother, sister, future 51st state, I don't know, nation of Canada. Ezra is the founder of Rebel News, and he's a kick-ass dude, and we want to have him on to talk about the new elections in Canada. What's going to happen next? Let's go. Ezra, what's going on, man? How are you?
Benny, I'm great. Justin Trudeau is, his last day as prime minister is today. Yesterday, the Liberal Party selected his successor. Got to tell you, his successor is just as bad. A globalist who was on the board of the World Economic Forum. He used to be the central banker in Canada. Then he got promoted to be central banker in the UK, where he hung out with Ghislaine Maxwell. There's photos of it. Then he left to join Brookfield Asset Management, which is like a mini BlackRock. And from within Brookfield, he pushed ESG. He pushed carbon taxes and environmentalism into the companies he invested in. Well, now he's the liberal leader, and he's going to be appointed PM without ever having won an election. He's not a member of parliament, but he's going to be catapulted to the top job. So things are getting wild up here, but I'm a little bit worried, Benny, that Donald Trump is not going to like the cut of this guy's jib, and he's going to be taking pot shots at this guy and hitting the rest of our country. And I say that because the tariffs on Canada, I don't know if you know, Benny, but the number one export Canada sells to the United States, it's not maple syrup, it's not even cars, it's oil. And I call it ethical oil from Canada's oil sands, as opposed to conflict oil from OPEC countries or Russia. And here's what I would say to my America First friends. When you're shooting at these liberal politicians, when you're yanking their chain by saying, Governor Trudeau or 51st state, I get it, and we all hate these liberal leaders too. But don't push away our oil because China is sniffing around at Canada's oil sands. I have a better idea. America shouldn't tariff the oil because you can't move the oil sands to America. It's not like a factory that you could pack up and move to America. The oil sands is where it is. It's in the most pro-U.S. province in Canada called Alberta. Don't push it away, Benny. Pull it close. I have an idea. I call it the deal of the century because I'm trying to think, how does Donald Trump think? He thinks in terms of real estate, right? Hey, Canada, you don't want it. You don't want the French-English bilingualism. You don't want another California in your electoral college, trust me. But what you want is the oil. I think Trump should sign a 50-year deal to buy all the oil in the oil sands, and with the money, insist that Canada rebuild its military. So instead of pushing away Canada's oil, pull it in close, lock it in, and here's the icing on the cake. If you replace all your OPEC conflict oil imports with Canadian ethical oil, you don't have to spend $50 billion a year patrolling the Persian Gulf sea lanes because it's not your business anymore. Anyway, that's my case for Canadian oil. But the bad news is we've got a liberal prime minister for at least a little while yet.
They're going to agitate each other. The two aren't going to like each other. And so you're saying that some of this could backfire potentially and alienate, patriotic Canadians that are generally on our side. And there are a lot of patriots in Canada.
It's a little bit of a leftist center country. I acknowledge that, but look, we really are seamless. I mean, there's a little bit of an accent difference. We say about and house, and I would say we pronounce a few words a little differently than Americans, and we're a little different in how we spell things, and we use kilometers instead of miles. But I think I've just summed up a lot of the differences. Half of your Saturday Night Live comedians are Canadian. Now, I know that's probably not a plus.
I saw Mike Myers the other night. Yeah. Okay, so can you educate us? What's Pierre Poilievre, good or not? And when this election actually happens, is it going to be the proverbial bloodbath that we hear about for liberals?
Great questions. Pierre Poilievre is the Conservative Party leader, and he's as conservative as you get in Canada. I've known him for more than 20 years, and he's been talking conservative even when it wasn't cool. Now, he's in a bit of a pickle because if you're too conservative, now people say, oh, you're just Trump's poodle up here. You're going to sell out Canada. So actually some of this 51st state banter, which I think, that's typical Trump trolling. There's a great sense of humor behind it. And it was poking at Trudeau, and it worked. But some other Canadians are saying Pierre Poilievre is a mini Trump. He's not. He's a conservative guy, but he's a Canadian guy. I'm a little worried, but I think Trudeau has wrecked things so badly in Canada that the country wants to throw out the Liberals. And I think that in the election, the Conservatives will win. I just hope that we have a chance to properly vet this new Liberal named Mark Carney. He's the guy I mentioned about, the former central banker, World Economic Forum guy, because he has actually not lived in Canada for years. In fact, his wife still lives and works in New York City. He just moved Brookfield Asset Management to New York City. He's got 3 passports like any good globalist would. So I don't think 99% of Canadians even recognize his face. He sort of looks like a funeral parlor boss. So it's so weird. He's like some prince who's been living abroad, has decided to come home to the Shire to rule over us because it's his turn. So this guy, Mark Carney, is a problem for sure, Benny. But if we can just get through the next few months until the election, I think Pierre Poilievre's going to win, and you're going to have someone who's going to work with Trump to strengthen our military, get rid of some of the trade irritants. And the number one thing I think Pierre Poilievre is going to do that Americans are going to appreciate, he's going to take the war on fentanyl to new levels. Pierre Poilievre is so tough on crime. He's for mandatory minimum sentences. I think he's even talked about life in prison for fentanyl. I got to check on that. Like, he's tougher than any Canadian has ever been on crime. And I think Trump's going to look at that and say, all right, you're no Justin Trudeau. So my hope is for my dear American friends, especially the America First ones, when you're shooting at these liberal leaders, remember that not all Canadians are for it. And that actually a lot of Canadians really love America. I mean, I'm a proud Canadian, but my God, did we ever win the lottery of life being born right next to America? I mean, I'm glad we're not in some rougher neighborhoods in the world. We're so lucky. But in a way, Americans are lucky too, because we got all this oil up here. I don't know if you know, Benny, but the Canadian oil sands have more oil than any other country in the world other than Venezuela and Saudi Arabia. 170 billion barrels. So a 50-year deal to buy all our oil. You don't even need, it's just a pipeline. You don't even need tanker ships. So forget about the Houthis hijacking tankers. Forget about, terrorism in the Middle East. You can get out of that. America First, pull in the oil sands. Whole Pierre Poilievre, Mark Carney thing. Don't give up on Canada, and we won't give up on you, okay?
Okay. I know, Ezra, you have a heart out, but very quickly here, we have the photo of Ghislaine Maxwell. What the hell is going on with these unelected people? Like, they tried to pull a Kamala Harris on. You're getting Kamala Harris here, right? Like, where it's somebody that nobody elected, right? And it's someone with a very creepy background. This is Carney, I think, in the purple.
In a world filled with nasal congestion, one hero rises. Afrin no drip allergy.
Here, right? Like, where it's somebody that nobody elected, right? And it's someone with a very creepy background. This is Carney, I think, in the purple shirt right here.
That's right. Yeah. And his wife is on the far right, and that lady in black, that's Ghislaine Maxwell. There's a lot of photos, because remember, he was sort of this princely type in the UK. He moved to the UK. He became the head of the Bank of England, the first foreigner to have that position. And he basically used it as a power position to network. He really is the World Economic Forum personified.
Yes.
He's never been elected to anything, but he rules over us. He says he's a Canadian, but he actually has 3 passports. This guy believes that you should have to turn down your thermostat in the winter. You shouldn't be able to drive or fly. You should live in a 15-minute city. But he's a private jet guy going all over the world. And they're looking at Canada as some sort of prize to be bought. It's sort of a George Soros mindset. This guy's slick, and the media love him. And you're 100% right when you say he's the Kamala Harris move, because Trudeau was so toxic. That actually, and it was a Trump tweet that did it. If you look back, it was Trump in November, by the time of my inauguration. And that set in motion a series of things where he demanded that the finance minister take on the file, and she quit. It said just bigger and bigger dominoes. Donald Trump tipped over the first tiny domino with a tweet that led to Justin Trudeau's ouster. We just got to deal with his successor, Mark Carney, here. And that's his biography, his World Economic Forum biography. I don't know if you know much about the World Economic Forum, Benny.
Oh, you do, my brother. Oh, you do.
They've got this crazy supervillain leader named Klaus Schwab, and he speaks in it's too much, the German accent. And he said about Canada, we have penetrated the cabinet. And you got to say it in the German accent. But it's true. Trudeau was a World Economic Forum young leader. Mark Carney's World Economic Forum board member. They sort of run Canada as a colony. Yeah, that's Klaus Schwab right there. Look at that guy. Yeah. He's like a Bond villain.
Yes.
So we got to fight these guys off. Pierre Poilievre is the conservative hope. And I'm just saying, hey, America, don't give up on us, okay? Don't judge us all by Justin Trudeau. I want you to know that the last poll I saw in January on the subject, Canada, than Donald Trump was in Canada. Trump would have beat Trudeau in an election in Canada. True story.
All right. So don't let them Kamala your country.
That's right.
No elections, oligarchs choosing, moving people around on the chessboard. I really
got
hope.
one more detail. I got to go in about 5 minutes, but let me tell you one more detail. You mentioned that this guy has never been elected. He was selected by the Liberal Party, but let me tell you a little bit how their leadership contest went. You did not have to be a Canadian citizen to vote in it.
Come on.
They allowed foreign nationals to vote as young as 14 years old.
Wow.
So a 14-year-old child who is a citizen of a foreign country, as long as they're a permanent resident in Canada, a 14-year-old could vote. So they had 400,000 people register to vote, but they wound up disqualifying 2/3 of them, and they didn't explain that. So 2/3 of the people signed up were either fake or bots, or maybe the People's Republic of China had some internet operation. Like, there's so many question marks. But even if it was legit, by the way, this guy has never been elected by any Canadian. He's never even run for dog catcher. We are having our new prime minister installed. He's being selected. So please, America, do not think we all love this guy, Mark Carney. I promise you we don't. Just stay with us and don't give up on us, Benny.
Yes, all right. Just let us know when the next trucker protest is. We'll be there. Honk, honk. Ezra, one of the best, man. Follow Ezra right over here. He got 500,000 subs on his X. He's fantastic. He runs Rebel News, and he's one of those guys who not just runs Rebel News, but he's literally running through the World Economic there and making huge impact. We love your work, Ezra, and we say Godspeed, brother.
Thank you, Benny. Keep up the fight down there.
All right. See ya, man.
Would you rather have a cup of coffee?
Sorry about all that chicken, guys. I gotta fix this car. Gotta find what the problem is, why it keeps doing it. It takes money to fix a little something. Let's see. I was gonna try to replace the tie rods, but I don't really plan to keep the car, you know. Just trying to wait, but I gotta find some. I want to find somebody who has them. I ain't trying to fit armor leg on the tie rods. Tie rods are not cheap. I don't want to put armor leg on the Sure for too much on this car. To get the, I just gotta get them. Hardy Bonzo, are you still there? Okay, you're still there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the rotors are now worked. The rotors are basically, they're new. They're not, I mean, the caliber wise, I talked to you and said, no, there's no way a caliber could do that. Then what could it be? So the only thing I left is the tie rods. And I mean, I do know that when you put your hand on the wheels at 9.3, it does move, though. But just trying to bind tie rods. I'm really tired of shaking so much. All I know is this Saturday we got an event that we can go do, guys. We got an event that we're going to go do. We're going to go see the St. Patty's Day here this Saturday. We're going to see the river and all that, whole 9 yards, everything. So anything could help out. Please go over and donate. Cover gas, parking, all that stuff to get there. Hopefully I'm not, it's not so stuffy when it goes, but my nose has been really stuffy since, it just happened. Out of nowhere. Yesterday I had it. Basically, this is what I'm going 3 days. 3 days, stuffy nose. I can't stand it. And then what I hear was that Trump is supposedly going to was it Russia? He's gonna go to Russia. Spread everything goes, he'd be safe. Go. He'll go visit Russia. I know he's really trying to do her peace, trying to get ready to go with her, relax. It's not the nonsense, the peace deal thing. Just pray for his safety, though. Russia's, I don't know what all this war's going on these days. So where's this other one? I don't know. See if I can get this to play for you guys. Well, that's the one we're all. Yeah, we weren't done yet. Shucks. Hopefully I can get.
You will die tomorrow, or maybe on another day. But one thing is certain, life is limited. Every moment that you...
Get this thing back here again, and hopefully...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited to have a live report from BLM Plaza. This report will take your breath away, and we will show you what's actively happening as the country heals. Time heals. Speaking of breathing and taking our breath away, Lumen gentlemen, there's a small little app that I use every single morning. I'm trying to get more in shape, trying to get healthier. To get healthier, you got to understand like what's going on with your metabolism. You got to understand what's going on internally and what's happening inside of your own body. Lumen is like a handheld metabolic coach. This device helps you measure your metabolism through your breath. On the app, it lets you know and detect burning fat, carbs, give you tailored guidance to help you improve your nutrition and workouts and sleep and stress management. There's a lot of that around here. All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and it will tell you what it sees going on in your metabolism. This helps me out. I actually determine whether I'm going to do a cardio day or if I'm going to be lifting. We built this like humble little gym in our garage. Little garage gyms, all the rage right now. It actually affects how I eat, what kind of meals that I eat. It's great. Their app is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, you can check them out as well. You go to lumen.me/Benny to get 20% off your Lumen. Take the next step to improving your wellness. That's lumen.me. Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. It's really fun to get healthy, right? This is the moment. Steak and shake is using beef tallow. Oh, they're going to use beef tallow to fry all of our fries. Great. Not recommended by Lumen, I don't think. It's never told me to eat some fries. Ladies and gentlemen, these statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Just trying to help you get a extra healthy step on your day. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, stepping over to Black Lives Matter Plaza is our dear friend who's always on the ground. We're going to christen him. I don't have any champagne in the studio. We're going to officially christen Nick Sortor as our on-the-ground investigative journalist in Washington, D.C. We haven't done any salary negotiations with Nick. We'll do it live on the program. He's so awesome. He joins us live now from BLM Plaza. Nick, you are the man. We're so excited to always have you on the spot, man. And okay, so we have BLM Plaza live behind you right now.
Yeah, we can no longer call it BLM Plaza. At this point, it's just Black Lives because Matters is now pretty much gone at this point. It's pretty much totally disappeared. You can see in the background, Kevin Pasovic is actually sitting behind me. I just met him here. He brought Wawa, as you can see, to the construction workers out here that are braving the angry, BLM activists. These people don't actually, these BLM activists, they don't really go to work or anything like that. So they have time to stand around here all day and just yell at the construction workers. So they've had to bring a bunch of cops in.
Really?
You see over there. Yeah. So they're guarding the perimeter now on both sides because, they can't stop being harassed. It's ridiculous. But I'm telling you, it's such an honor to be here and watching this live, Benny. I'm telling you, this has made my month already.
So for those who are unfamiliar, big painted on the biggest street leading up to the White House, right? There's a very famous avenue.
You can see the White House right back there. Yep. I mean, it's that close.
Yep. There it is. You can see the White House, statue of Andrew Jackson. They were trying to tear that down too. And so, are they removing the letters? What is the work that you see being done right now, Nick?
Yeah, so I'll bring you to it. Actually, let's do that. Sure. I'll show you here. So it's actually a little bit more than just painted here. It's actually cemented into the pavement. So even if you were to just take the paint up, you're still going to see the lettering. It's actually carved into the bricks itself. Like they cut out sections of the bricks. This was a brick road before, and they put in slabs of concrete that are now painted in yellow. So they have to remove everything.
Man, there's a lot of work.
That seems like insanely expensive. There should be. We had a member of Congress on here saying there needs to be a full BLM investigation. So the city of Washington D.C. This is gonna cost millions. I had no idea that this was like. I thought this was spray painted. Stupid me. I thought this was kind of like painted on just the bricks. So you're saying that this is going to be a massive job to remove this?
Yeah, Benny, we're talking about at least a 2-week job out here.
Wow.
Because we're talking. This spans. I don't know if you have an overhead shot of what this looks like, but it spans 3 blocks all the way down. I mean, this is this was a boondoggle from the summer of love. It's a relic of a dark, dark past that's finally disappearing. I mean, as you can see, actually, I'll mention this part.
My commercial generator.
Finally disappearing. I mean, as you can see, actually, I'll mention this part. There are bollards in the middle of the road as well, because a lot of the locals here weren't too happy about having their road graffitied in Black Lives Matter, so they'd come and do donuts in the middle of the road and rip up the paint. So,
what a mess! What a disaster! Okay, so this is something that I wanted to ask you based on your extensive work and journalism covering these riots. Now, I know that you covered the BLM riots, and I know that you've covered left-wing activism and violent left-wing activism. It seems like such a prima facie insult to every American to honor a terrorist group, which is actually what this group was. They tried to burn down St. John's Episcopal, which is, I think, right behind you, right there, that beautiful church.
Yeah.
They set it ablaze. And then right there, you're in front of the St. Regis Hotel. That's where Rand Paul was staying when they tried to kill Rand Paul after trying to kill Donald Trump in the same place. And then libs honored them. They gave him a monument, which is what's currently being deconstructed behind you. What an insult.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a fraud organization. They were extorting people for money, buying mansions in Los Angeles and in some of the most expensive zip codes in the United States. I mean, what good did they do besides just dividing us? I mean, and the fact that you painted on the street right in front of the White House, you know, the People's House over here, is just it's ridiculous. I mean, it's at this point the grift has been exposed. We know who they are, and you know, I'm telling you, there's so many people like looking at me mad about me talking on the sidewalk. I'm so used to it.
I was gonna ask Nick. You know, you're a member of the press, and you get more clicks and views than the vast majority of reporters in the world. And you're at the top of the top. But dude, like, you take your life into your own hands going into these left-wing protests. You see, they behave violent. Members of Congress behave violently towards you.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing about being in the swamp here, and that's why I decided to stay here full time, is because there's nobody pushing back on these leftist politicians. Nobody. Everybody is too afraid to press them and ask them questions. They're not used to it. So when they do get pushed back from me, they don't know how to react. They get violent. They push. They shove. They grab. I mean, just a block and a half from here at CFPB is where Maxine Waters' goon squad threw me on top of a car and tried to take my phone out of my hand. You know, it's like the environment is changing now. And because, you know, us independent media guys, you included, get so many more views in the legacy media, what we report is what actually matters nowadays. And that's why these people get so pissed off. They feel like they're losing their grip. They know they're losing the grip, and they're doing anything they can to save it. Both the legacy media and the Democrats.
I'm gonna say independent journalist lives matter. Maybe we can like repaint it. Yeah. Maybe we can just like say Nick's life matters. That brings up, I think, a more interesting question, Nick, which is like BLM certainly was the flavor of the month, right? We shouldn't be in the habit of painting the flavor of the month, like creating political monuments to passing fads. Like right now, if you were to name a plaza, you'd name it MAGA Plaza, right? Would libs be in favor of that? Would libs be in favor of painting MAGA Plaza, MAGA Lives Matter, on that street? And it's probably a good street poll, actually. But if you were to follow
maybe not
the
here
logic,
in DC, that wouldn't be a good street poll.
Totally, I think it'd be very entertaining. If you were to follow the logic, then what you would do is you'd paint MAGA Lives Matter all over DC.
Yeah, absolutely. And the entire reason that this was done here in the location that it was done here was it was done by the mayor of D.C. as an FU to Donald Trump. That's all it was. She painted, and actually did more than paint, built a monument to a terrorist organization in front of the White House just to own Donald Trump. I mean, it didn't work, obviously. Now she's being humiliated that it's being ripped out. And, you know, she didn't do this willingly. She was strong-armed into doing it. You saw the other day also Trump demanded that she cleared the homeless encampments next to the State Department. I mean, the State Department, it was embarrassing. You'd have dignitaries that would come here at the highest levels, and they'd go to the White House, out in front of the park here at the White House. I mean, it was basically a homeless camp. And then as well as right next to the State Department, it looked like a third world country. And finally, that's all been cleared out just days after Trump demanded it be done. This is one of the most liberal cities in the United States, but Trump has found a way to make the people's will be done here.
Yeah, well, because they're a welfare state, actually, and they can't survive. They can't survive without the federal funding. Right. They're gone. There's like U.S.A. like the entire state of D.C. is fake. It's not real. So what have you found there, Nick, on the greater writ large? Like, your reporting has gone thermonuclear viral. You do seem to be the only guy who's asking real questions. You were, I guess, in front of another federal building today, and I'm not sure if we have the footage. I think we have it right here. We're pulling it up. Apparently, people were very upset. Today, they wouldn't let you film from the streets. What the hell's going on?
Yeah,
CFPB.
Yeah, CFPB, again, I mean, one of the most troubled organizations right now. They're terrified. Now, what I was filming was the fact that they ripped down the signs from the inside and the outside of the building. You can see the security guard there waving me over, saying that I'm not allowed to film from a public sidewalk.
You're in the street!
I couldn't believe it. A retired veteran showed me this little device that gives his family sits on a
sidewalk. I'm in it's a public sidewalk. She's like, this is private property. It's like, okay, you want to bet? You want to bet that this is private property? And it's like, if you don't want me to film inside the building, why would you call me inside the building while I'm filming? I don't understand. And then telling me, threatening me, saying that I can't film from the sidewalk, and then I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? You're going to arrest me? Arrest me. I think it would be a really foolish move to arrest me for filming from a public sidewalk. I mean, I might just retire after that lawsuit. That would be fantastic. So these people are going to learn. Nobody's holding them accountable up here, Benny.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. I'm gonna call you after this. I want you to be our official. I want you to be our official roving reporter in Washington D.C. I think we have a lot of fun. We need to set you up with a cameraman, man. Set you up with a cameraman and
every cameraman that I get runs away when there's trouble brewing.
Yeah, that's right.
I tried that. I'm like, bro, you didn't film me getting thrown up on a car by Maxine Waters' goon squad. Come on, man.
Yeah. Get some wartime videographers in there, because that's where you are. Okay, so in the course of this interview, we've been talking for 15 minutes. In the course of this interview, Nick, have people hissed at you? Have people do you feel a little threatened here doing this reporting from BLM Plaza?
Oh yeah, I get recognized a lot now here, and so I get screamed at. Some of these people are just freaking unstable, man. So you just don't know. You see them all calling for Elon to be killed and Trump to be killed and everything, and it's like people that are actually loud and effective in Washington, and they see the videos, they go viral of me confronting these politicians, and the hate mail that I get, the hate mail that my parents get, the threats to their lives, I mean, it's sick. It's sickening. And then, I don't know if you remember, when I was reporting on Maui a while back, I was on Bandon's show, and I ended up, somebody snuck up behind me and started, threatening me from behind. And so I've always
creepy.
Yeah. So I'm always watching, man, especially here. I am not a well-liked person in Washington, D.C., that's for sure.
That's exactly the kind of guy I want to roll with. These are my kind of people. Nick should be your kind of person. And Nick, why don't before I pop up your X account here, so everyone can follow you, and it looks like you're so close to 1 million subs, man. Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
Why don't you show us one more glorious shot here of BLM Plaza, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, I'll lift you up.
Sort of show us. Okay, so it looks like they're removing the bricks now. They're removing the ramparts. The pylons there. Yeah, the bollards.
So they have to rip the bollards up first, and then they can rip the cement slabs up, or the concrete slabs that are actually painted over.
Crazy, man.
It's a big job. They wanted this so badly to be permanent. That's why they did it. And they needed to, I'm sure, waste some money in the city budget.
But yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Which U.S.A. contract?
Right.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to follow Nick. Nick has 900,000 subs right now on X. Is I would argue one of a precious handful of actual independent, real journalists who asks tough questions and gets quite the reaction. But also, he just really speaks for people who need a voice, like those who have lost everything in Western North Carolina to Maui. So get in there and make sure that Nick has tons of. Hey, look, it's a Potomac on the show. What's going on? You're getting photobombed.
It's Benny
By Kev.
See donuts back there.
I don't know if you can see that.
The audio, Nick. The audio is low, so I can't because you're going through the AirPods, I think. So
yeah, well,
I can't
hold
hear
on.
actually what
There we
Kev
go.
has to say.
All right, how about that? Is that better?
Kev, talk to me, bro.
What's going on, Benny?
You got to explain all that again.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're down. Behind us is the Hay Adams. Next to us is the St. John's Church that Black Lives Matter lit on fire, didn't they? And
we were talking about your Wawa out here. What you did? Explain that.
So earlier on, you can see on the back of the trunk of the Toyota there. I came down. I was down in 2020. I did this as well along Kensington Avenue. I brought the National Guard some coffee and donuts with my Joe Biden stimulus check whenever we got them. So I said, food and all this nonsense to the crazy addicts down there that don't give a darn about anything. So I said, why don't we do that again? So, of course, being one of the Poso bros, we got to do Wawa. Yeah, so I came down. I tried to make a deal with them. I said, hey, listen, I do know how to run a skid steer and a jackhammer. Maybe we can make a deal. They said no.
But they got Wawa anyway.
But we tried.
You could have been, man. You could have been bulldozing, dude. You could have been bulldozing.
Hey, it's nice out. It's nice out.
What an honor that would have been.
Save me a brick. Can you save me a brick? We'll frame it and put it up in the studio.
Yeah, we're trying.
A relic of a conquered people.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, listen,
right.
it's about the cultural Marxists that we don't want taking over this country anymore, and that's what I recall.
Yeah.
It's not about race. It's about they're trying to undermine this country from the inside out, and we're not having it.
That's it.
Yeah. We want to live in a high trust society. You can't do that by fractioning groups and giving them special privileges. If you wouldn't paint White Lives Matter in the biggest avenue in Washington D.C., then there's absolutely no argument to do this. But especially if Black Lives Matter is a provable terrorist organization and a fraudulent organization that deserves to be criminally investigated by Congress. And so we had two. For the BLM organization, who's clearly fraudulently used their nonprofit status. So, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be more tears in Washington, D.C. I'm surprised you guys aren't getting flooded out by pure salty tears right now.
I think demoralized, man. They're demoralized. They're taking so many L's recently out here with Trump in the White House that there aren't any tears left to cry, bro. I don't know what to...
There's no that I recall yet.
Oh. Get reconnected to my AirPods. But anyway, so appreciate you, Benny.
Thank you, boys. Thank you for this live report. This will be fun. We can do a segment every day and show the progress. Godspeed, Nick. Here's again Nick's account. Make sure that you follow Nick. Man,
does X work again?
There it is.
X works again.
Well, it's very dodgy. It's very dodgy. But we'll get this interview right up there. Nick, Godspeed, man. 900,000 subs. Get in there. Make sure that Nick gets all the way to 1 million. Should happen very fast.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right. See you, brother.
Most people have no idea that a forgotten energy device, originally developed by Thomas Edison, can generate an endless supply of clean power.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right. See you, brother. It's been a rowdy little show, like kind of bopping around everywhere. They did elect some new globalist jackass in. They elected some new globalist jackass in Canada. The elections are going to be when is the election date in Canada? Is it October? It's a set date. It's in October. When is it? I think it's in October.
You hear about the whole app thing, right? App.
So I think before October. Why can we not get an actual date? Is this insane? Is this how they actually do it? They actually don't know their election day. This is goofy. This is goofy. I wasn't going to go hard with Ezra because I really like him, but I think the 51st state would be great. I think Canada as the 51st state would be awesome. And you should make MSNBC love this plan. Like, if anyone should love it, it should be MSNBC. Because MSNBC this weekend said that Ukrainians are more American than we are. Oh, wow. This is the ideology we're fighting against. These are the people we're fighting. These are the maskers. Let's tie a bow on this thing. These are the people wearing masks, right? Watching the guy dance, the Bernie Sanders. These are people like worshiping a terrorist organization. These are the people that are trying to separate Americans by bringing in and importing what they call new Americans. It's amazing. Like, the only people that don't get a right to be an American and don't get to say that this is my country are the people that are actually Americans, the people who live here and were born here and are here legally. Everybody else is an American except for us. Everybody else gets rights to be an American except for us, actually, which is insane. Anyway, how long is this clip? Can we do Assault That Lib? How long? Yeah, how long is this clip? We don't have Assault That Lib. And they were just talking about all the salt and all the tears. They're all gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, dump salt on these MSNBC libs as they cry themselves a river, saying Ukrainians are more American than we are.
The person who's watching, who just heard you say Donald Trump is not standing up for Ukraine, what do you say to the person who says, well, I don't care about Ukraine. I want Donald Trump to stand up for America? What do you say to them?
I don't know where you got that. I mean, I don't have time for it.
Yes, but we hear it. We hear it.
Here's the thing. Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in a place where you thought the Russians were the good guys? What part of America did you grow up in where they taught you the Russians were the good guys and our allies were the bad guys? That's the flip here that we need to continue to remind people. The Russians are the bad guys. They're raping women. They're killing children. They're bombing cities. The Ukrainians are the noble good guys. In some ways, they're more American than we are over the last couple of years. And we must stand with them in the same way we stood with the Allies in World War II and since this country was founded. This is not just about Ukraine. This is about the core and the integrity of American values, and that's what he's also betraying. Not just Ukraine, he's betraying America.
They're so... could you imagine the duality? Could you imagine living like that? Could you imagine being like inside of whoever that guy is? I don't know who that guy is. Imagine being inside of his brain. He's like, we need to stand with the Ukrainians, just like we stood with our allies during World War II. Dumbass. What? Like, what? Like, they're so brain dead. It actually has to be a practice in humiliation. Like, who's the most smooth brained at this point? It has to be like, how much more can we pull over on these people? Remember when Zelensky stood up and applauded a Nazi in Canada with Justin Trudeau? Dude was literally working for the SS. It's like this 98-year-old Nazi. And he's like fist pumping. And they're all clapping. We clap for the Nazi. That's how stupid these people are. That's why you actually have to know your history. You have to like lock in and understand like what's happening in the world today. It's all the opposite of what they tell you. Black Lives Matter Plaza, those people were okay with black people dying. You know how I know that? Yeah, you know how I know they didn't care about black lives? Because my neighborhood, which was like 98% black, no black life got better. It was like all lit on fire. It was never worse for black people in Washington, D.C., which is a predominantly black city, or in black areas of this country, than when BLM was defunding police. You know how I know that? Because I lived it. Like, I saw it. And also because there's a death toll for BLM. It's like a running death toll where it's like dozens of black people that were killed in the BLM riots. Sure, here you go. At least 25 Americans were protests. So do their lives actually matter? You frauds.
Oh, yeah?
Like you don't even know what you're talking about. Dude in one sentence is like, America must stand with Ukraine. And then the next sentence is like, just like we did with our allies during World War II. Well, who was our ally during World War II? They know nothing. They don't know anything. Here's the dude. Here's the Nazi that they're all like sitting there clapping for the Nazi. By the way, there's still a ton of Nazis in Ukraine, man. It's just America happens to find it in our interest right now to side with them. It's illiterate. And it's stupid. And you shouldn't listen to stupid people, okay? Instead, listen to our verse of the day, okay? Like, maybe we're not so smart, all right? Just went to community college. But at least we can say one smart and true thing on the entire program. And here it is. Always the verse of the day. Always with our verse of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, from Isaiah. A lot of wisdom in that book. But now, O Lord, you are our Father. We are the clay. You are a potter. And we are all the work of your hands. You know, it's like ups and downs, you know? There's like ups and downs. And and there's things that just don't make no sense, actually, in the way that the world sort of turns and undulates. And it's enough to, like, actually cause people to question their faith, because sometimes very bad things happen, right? If you believe that either God's totally in control or there is no God, right? Like, it's one or the other. It's not like he's half in control. It's not like he's half paying attention. Like, you must go about your life with the energy that God is completely in control. And that these things are happening for the reason, and you can jump into the New Testament here, and that they're happening for the good of those who love the Lord. And there's a lot of good things that are actually happening right now, and there's a great fight that has been going on eternally since the dawn of time between good and evil. Be on the light side of that fight. Make sure that you're sharing light with everything that you are doing today. March with us. It's your boy Benny. On to victory. Can't defeat an army of happy warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, see ya.
Just like center to right center? Yeah. Yep.
Bing!
This is the reason why I've thrown out all my high-end camera equipment. This revolutionary professional-grade drone lets anyone capture...
Just like center to right center? Yeah. Yep.
What do you see that way?
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The penny shows here.
So, see, Russia's gonna help the U.S. win the World War II. Let's hope we don't get to that. Okay, come on. And then I just seen something, the short one. Where is it at? Never heard about that part. Oh, the rumors go around supposedly something about Trump going to Russia? I don't know. But I don't have it on me right now. I can't find it. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? So much Trump got fully visit Russia. see, then the other one. But it's good. You know, the fact that they're going to use the that app there that Joe Biden had basically made up, and for all these damn illegals to come here, now Trump reversed it. You go fill it out, and we can send your ass back. You could do it this way, or we find your ass, you're done, and then you're permanently banned from here. So it's good. It's got to be done. And I hope that those just look into DC. Look at all the money they spent. So it needs to be done. My nose still congested was. Because my nose is more stuffy. Very stuffy. And I'm really tired of it. Early today, because I really I really want to cook out, so I cooked out early today on the grill. Walmart had these Cuban steaks that they were on sale, and so because I don't know, they must have been going fire, surely, whatever. So I bought them. I ate some, and then I cooked some extras to get to the homeless people. So that's pretty much it. Just trying to take a day at a time. Trying to get ready for this weekend. Hopefully it's still better. Trying to figure out where to park. Look all that information out. Figure out should I drive there or should I take a train? Just trying to figure all that out. I mean, the train would be nice, but I really have a way to just get in my car and go. Because I gotta be there, I think 10 o'clock. I think it's 10 o'clock is the first one that starts at 10 o'clock. That's when they dive the river at 10. So, if I don't get there by 10 o'clock, before 10 o'clock, then we're not going to see the river get died. And then at 12 o'clock is the actual parade. So, but that's pretty much. But I am tired of feeling like my nose so stuffed. I'm tired of this. I am really, really tired of it. So, it's getting old to me. Yeah, turn it off now. So, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I have really I don't think I have season allergies. I don't know what it is. It just out of nowhere. I think it's what now? Been what 3 days, 3 or 4 days, whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, nose just feel like it's really clogged. And I thought taking Mucinex, all that other stuff was it's not really resolved the issue. I mean, I want to be able to I do all the way down through my lungs from out. Usually, just everything's so clogged up there. So I don't know. Just take a day at a time. I mean, God is good. I'm still alive. Can't complain. So, hell, it can't be anything else besides, so, it is what it is. So, the old thing is, it was 60 degrees today. It was 60 degrees today. Tomorrow, it might be very close to about the same. 60 degrees today. And, my nose wasn't so clogged, I didn't give a crap. I still went to the junkyard. But if I wasn't so stuffy, I really want to get in my car, man. Start working on it. I want to do things. I'm trying to fix my light. Actually, it's a light on the button, not my headlights. It's another light. They're called running lights. I'm trying to fix that. It was working. Somehow water got into it, caused a little corrosion. So I gotta clean it out. And then I might have to give you a new bulb too. I don't know, we'll see. But it's a good daytime. It's supposed to be warm tomorrow? Yeah. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, today was a very nice day. That's why I said I really want to cook out was Monday. Right? Yeah, no, sorry, Sunday, because today's Monday. Sunday, I really wanted to cook out Sunday, and I pushed it off. So I decided, okay, well, I'm cooking today. Yeah, so I said, screw it, I'm cooking. I didn't care, I'm cooking. I said, I don't care. I'm not gonna sit all and doing nothing all day. So I cook, went down to the homeless place, or the shelter they call it, and I gave them the food that I cooked. I mean, there were $7 a piece. So for the Cuban steaks. So I grilled them all, and I took down them, some too. And then Walmart had a I don't know, these they're like donuts. I don't know, desserts. I call it what I left. I all I need is myself, because it came with a total of 4 in a little pack, and they weren't on sale too. But I only need 1, and I give the rest to the homeless people. There you go. Because I just want to try it out. I never really had that brand before. So I figured I'd try it out. And of course, all I know is I definitely want to have a taste for corned beef. You can't put corned beef on a grill. Yeah, I mean you gotta put it in a slow cooker. That's the way I do it. And I really want some. I want a Reuben sandwich. I want to make it homemade. I got a fancy little flat skillet, basic little grill, whatever, that kind of thing. I want to use it so bad. I haven't used it, but I haven't. I bought it. I haven't used it one time yet. I hope I use it. We'll see. Hopefully it's not 6. So, we'll see. Hope the weather is really nice tomorrow. Hopefully. And it kind of makes it. I know Sam will think I'm breathing really hard just because of the nose. I feel like I'm clogged. I've been blowing my nose a lot, trying to get whatever is in there. hate it. So, but, Trump's team is doing an awesome job. Really, he is doing an awesome job, and I'm really proud to see that Black Lives plasm is gone. It is gone. And I don't give a crap if they all want to cry about it. Throw a tantrum. I don't care. I'm happy it's done. They say it's gonna take the guy down there says it's gonna take him a week or so to get it all done. Whatever it needed to do, get rid of it all. And it'd be nice if they could take a dozer or whatever and go down there and just scrape the whole, bricks, scrape the whole thing out of there. There's nothing left. Get rid of all of it. So I'm glad it's being done. And all idiots should have been charged for what they did. They all should have been charged for damage and all that stuff. Bet you we were all walking around like it's nothing. I was gonna say a word that I probably should not say any bad words. I gotta watch the cuss words. But so hello everybody. So please go over to my Cash App or gifts and Cash App be faster, or gifts and gold you could do. But please go over and donate some money, help me out towards getting there this weekend. At least help out towards the gas and parking. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, Gloria did one down there, their live stream today. Yeah, I know Gloria B did one for the St. Patty's one. That's what I've seen one. And I know she usually does one for auction. To this weekend. Whew. Yep, this weekend is holy. I got a 10 o'clock is holy when they do the Dye the River is holy. And it's holy lasts for a week. I have never in my lifetime ever seen that. Ever been to one of those St. Patty's parades. I have never been to one. So this is gonna be new to me too. So I actually been looking online and trying to figure out where to go. It's at the BLM Street. Oh, really? Oh. So, I don't know. Try to go there and... I don't know, I've been sitting there trying to think, do I really want to take a train there or a bus? A train or just drive there? But... I am still looking online, trying to figure out where is there a parking place it could be. I can park the vehicle at, and that's not going to cost me arm or leg. But I am not having luck at finding a place. I ain't trying to spend all $50. Cause the last one I went to Chicago, it cost me some money to park, and that's why I hate going to Chicago. Things cost arm and leg there. It's just like being in D.C. So, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna forget to get out and vote. Get out and vote. Do not forget about it. Just because we have President Trump and Jay Dance, our team is doing good, but we cannot stop. We got to continue going on, Hugh. We got to continue going on. It's not, I know you're, oh, it's not that big. It is big. You should look at it as big. We got to keep things going. We got to keep going. We got to make sure everybody goes red. And right now, there's a lot of people that are very much our Democrat Party now are going to be switching to be Republic because they've seen what the Democrat Party are doing to them. So we got to keep on going. And I don't want to hear nobody talking about it. Do it. Use the voice that God given y'all. Be proactive. That's the only way we're going to get things done here. You know, got to keep praying. Got to keep praying for the American people to start waking up. Got to pray for President Trump. Because I heard holy, I don't know, when I was watching many of the other shows, so holy, they even tried to attack Mar-a-Lago, too. When he was down there, they were flying over and dropping things. So, things are getting crazy. So, March 25th, he says. March 25th, Election Day is here. So, what's today? I didn't know today's Monday, what's the date? I don't know. I don't pay attention to stuff. Today's at 11. 10th tomorrow at 11, so, yeah, you guys make sure everybody gets out and do it. Like I said, everybody thinks it's small, but it's big. It's big. You always gotta think things are gonna be big in life. You know, it's gonna happen, it's gonna change. But, you know, you cannot walk around with this attitude, oh, nobody else is gonna do it, oh, I don't care. And guess what? Don't have that attitude in life. Just do it. Get out there. Do your part. Encourage your neighbors. Encourage your friends. Encourage your family members. Get out there and vote. Take them with you. And then, you know what you do afterwards? You go to a coffee shop. You have coffee, you have breakfast. Oh, that's what you do. It's very simple. You know, even when I go down to the shelter, homeless shelter, what are you going to call it? Okay, I go down there, I don't just, I give them food, but I talk to you. I try to encourage them. You know, just because whatever you guys are going through, just because your lucks are down, you're not doing too well, whatever the case is, don't mean you got to stop. You guys have to get on vote. So get on vote. Do your research, get on vote. You know, we got to keep things going. We got to keep. When I'm watching JLR investigation, they've been attacking Elon Musk. They're saying that Elon Musk is his Tesla is holding. Sorry. The whole thing is going down because, all this bullshit's going on because there's, people were saying, if you don't say you're not gonna do anything with Trump anymore, we're gonna make sure that you go, your whole market is gonna go down. And they're trying to ruin Elon Musk. They're using fear, just like they did to Trump. Elon Musk is a very smart man, so I know he knows what he's doing. But that's what the damn lefties are doing to us. And I really like to see Elon Musk continue to do what he's doing. And not ruin what he's doing too. He's doing a lot for the American people. He's showing the American people the truth, what's really going on. And how these people, these Democrat Party and the people were stealing money from us. And how they were spending money on stupid. It needs to change. So, I am very proud of what Elon Musk is doing. I'm proud that Trump actually has a plan to do Doge. I think this is really good. I know it from hearing when Elon Musk talks. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I know he were going around, oh, X is down, X is down, X is down. It's all they're trying to do is, because when I was watching Benny Johnson show, everybody comes in, X is down. Trolls, people are out there they're just trying to divide the American people. Use the brain cells y'all got. God gave you brain cells. Use it. Do your research. Don't believe the bullshit. Bottom line, don't believe it. Because they're going to say everything in. Alright, Jericho, you get some sleep there, buddy. Don't believe the bullshit. Get out there, guys. And ladies. Get out there. Do your research. Don't believe the nonsense. Because that's what they're going to do. The Democrat Party are going to, as much as possible, try to divide the American people. They're going to continue doing it. They're going to put a bunch of bullshit stories. And I ain't going to fall for it. Not going to fall for it. I call on their shit all the time. And in this goddamn, in my channel, if they do their shit there too, I call them all too. You're nothing but a full of bullshit. I tell them all the time. Prove it, motherfucker. Because all you're doing is spreading rumors. And that little rumor you spread around, all it takes is one dummy to go, oh yeah, he's right. I'm going to go and put the reels. No. That's all it takes. So, looks like Jericho's going to go to bed here because he's tired. I was getting late, guys, for y'all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the live stream and let you all get some sleep. And hopefully, I don't know what else to take for medication because I can't take anything else because I can't stand this. But you'll get some sleep. And remember to pray to God. Pray to God first for our country. Pray for everybody. Things are going to change. Things are going to change. Well, we got to believe God. You got to believe God. You got to be very, very active in life too and do things. You can't just let everybody do things for you. You got to be active. Do your part too. So, all right, buddy. I'll let y'all go before you guys are getting tired and bored. Oh, sure.